Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the rise and fall, and we're talking about from fighting fires to performing surgeries and the rise of robots right here in the UAE, and to be more specific, in the Emirate of Sharjah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking about how robots have been changing our lives day in and day out because, well, this is future talk now. If it's not happening in the world, it's happening right here in Sharjah. Now, we're talking about today how robots are making a splash in the UAE. And they're not out there for world domination, of course. They are, here to brew coffees, busting crimes, delivering food, and even dousing fires from burning buildings, and even game to get down and groove, as we have seen robots that dance as well. Now, this means that machines are always going to be near you, and in the near future, we will be seeing these robots that will serve and protect.
Yes, indeed. Let's start off by talking about one good-looking Emirati receptionist robot. Yes, you've heard it right. There are robots who work as Emirati receptionists right here in the different Emirates. Now, it's quite easy to mistaken this robot for just another regular robot, but Caesar, the robot, has a lot more to offer to different users. First off, it is actually 6 feet tall. It has a very sturdy physique, and he is constantly wearing his white kandura and his headdress, which basically showcases him just like the fellow Emiratis. He looks like just another human, but he is actually a robot. He can hold a conversation quite well. He can respond to all your questions and even can sometimes get angry or upset, which is quite astonishing because a lot of people do not expect robots to have such emotions. Yeah. But he is the first UAE-made humanoid robot that is ready for commercial use. And the advantage, we can say, for many humanoid bots is just like the name suggests, they are quite similar to humans when it comes to showcasing facial expressions, as well as carrying out a conversation and being able to adjust its tone to fit the questions that we have in mind.
Yes, and again, we are looking at how, the UAE has been very prominent on making, a move and making their plays when it does come to robots. Omni and I, back in 2019, we did go to the very well-known Gynaecologist, and it's an event that happens right here in the UAE every single year, and we even met a lot of robots. Now, when it does come to robots that served, we did see some in retail outlets right here in the UAE, and again, we looked at even some in Sharjah's Butlayna area, how Lulu Hypermarket did have also a robot there as well. And when it comes to protecting, us right here in the UAE, we have seen RoboCops and even firefighting robots. And in May in 2017, we did look at the world's first operational robot policeman from Dubai Police, who officially did join the line of duty and greet guests at the opening of the 4th Gulf Information Security Expo and Conference, which is better known as GISEC. Now, the autonomous RoboCop does stand at around 170 centimeters tall and weighs around 100 kilograms, and I have personally used it to try it out, test it out a little bit. It was pretty cool, pretty fun. And then, obviously, when the COVID-19 pandemic did hit and a lot of children were affected, by COVID-19 and had to be isolated, a little small robot came into play, and we did look at how various government sectors in the UAE use this offer to give a, seamless customer experience. And the Federal Authority for Identity and Citizenship, formerly known as Emirates Identity Authority, did launch the robot Hamed to serve customers in its happiness centers all over the country. And that robot actually did provide many services, and that was like receiving ID renewal applications, identifying ID cards and statuses, and even updating personal information of those customers.
Yes, indeed. But once again, we're talking all about robots also working as surgeons. We've seen the Ministry of Health and Prevention go ahead and launch the first robot to actually go ahead and conduct catheterization as well as cardiac surgery. This has been taking place ever since the year 2014, and so they are definitely safe for use. They have been relieving the pain of many patients across the years. One robot that actually caught my attention was actually one that is currently in place, we can say, working at a hypermarket right here in the heart of Sharjah, more specifically at Sharjah's Butlayna area. And this robot was actually developed by the US-based Purple Cloud company. It can serve meals to the customers on their tables when they make an order. at Lulu Hypermarket right here in Sharjah. And so we've seen robots take all types of roles, working in customer service, as receptionists, working as chefs. We've talked a lot about Flippy the robot. And last but not least, working as surgeons, firefighters, and robo-cops. Which robot did your heart fall in love for? I would personally think it would be the chef robot, because I think my heart lies in my stomach.
I mean, a lot of people would agree with you on that, Omnia. For me, I don't like to pick and choose when it comes to robots. I believe all robots deserve love.
You're like a dad when they ask him or her. When they ask a dad, which one is your favorite kid? And they say, all of them. I love them equally. So you love all the robots equally?
And now it's time to ask the listeners. 4215, ladies and gentlemen, let us know which robot is your favorite. We are taking a short break, and when we come back, we're talking all about Google.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.